Bienvenido a la lección para miércoles, el 24 de septiembre. Hoy vamos a enfocarnos en los mandatos. Mandatos are commands, and we call these polite commands because given in this chapter, we're talking about asking for directions. And typically when you ask for directions, you're speaking to an unknown person, so we would speak politely. This is also considered formal as opposed to informal. In general, formal commands or polite commands swap endings, meaning if it's an AR verb, the verb now takes ER endings. Here, if you were going to say instead of hablar, you would use the E on the end. Hable, tome, or tomen to more than one person. If it's an ER-IR verb, by swapping to the opposite ending, it now takes AR endings. So in this case, if someone were saying, eat at this restaurant, coma, or for you all to write it, escriban, and. That is essentially polite commands. It was talking about in our book that you've already been hearing informal commands, such as conversa con tu compañero, converse with your partner, escucha a tu profesor, listen to your teacher. So informal commands keep the same ending as the verbs. Escuchar is an AR verb, you just use the A. Conversar is an AR verb, keep the A. Alright, but in this chapter we focus on polite commands, speaking with someone we do not know. Okay. Also, you either just have the A or the E on the end, and then you may add an N if you're talking to more than one person. Something to keep in mind is that in order to form polite commands, you always need to go to the yo form, because this is where you find irregularities. For example, you have the verb venir, to come, but the yo form is vengo, so we keep the stem veng with the G, and then we use the opposite ending, a, venga. Come early, please. Salir, to leave, so the yo form is salgo, and you would keep the stem salg, and swap the ending to make an a, salga, leave. We call these verbs go in the yo, venir, vengo, salir, salgo, tener, tengo, traer, traigo, and then we put the a. Other irregularities, conocer, you get conozco, so we keep the sk, conozca. Decir becomes digo, diga. Hacer is hago, haga, oír, oiga, poner, ponga. Some other irregulars in the polite commands don't follow any other pattern. So dar, to give, if you said to give them the map, de. Estar, este. Ir is very popular to tell someone, go down this road, go here, go there. We know the yo form is voy, but the command is vaya. Saber, sepa, ser, sea. If you were to say to someone, be nice, sea. Let's look at some of these examples from the verb saber, to know. Sepa muy bien lo que quiere decir antes de hablar. Know well what you want to say before speaking. Si ustedes van a viajar durante el verano, vayan a las agencias de viajes lo antes posible. If you are going to travel during the summer, go to the travel agency as soon as possible. So vaya, go. Some other things to keep in mind in the yo form are the stem changes. These aren't necessarily irregular, they just have stem changes. And the only possibilities for stem changing is E to IE, E to I, or O to UE. We have the verb cerrar, to close. It's an E to IE, we get the cierre, and then it's an AR verb, so we put the E, cierre. Pensar, another one of those, piense, sentar, sienta. Someone says sit down, sienta. Although that looks like a mistake, right? Siente would be an E on the end. Competir, we put the A on the end, the E changes to an I. Compita, seguir, siga, sirva. I'm pretty certain that is an error right there. That should be an E. Dormir becomes duerma. Again, should be an E. Duerme, encuentre, vuelve. Vuelva, sorry, it's an ER verb. Okay. Duerma por lo menos 8 horas cada noche. Sleep at least 8 hours a night. Cierre la maleta ahora. Close the suitcase now. Sirvan los refrescos, por favor. Serve the soft drinks, please. Okay. Other yo form irregularities. Now, because we are switching, swapping the ending, it's an AR verb, we're putting an E on the end. Because we're swapping the ending now, we have to also do a spelling change to maintain the sound. So now that we're putting an E on the end, we have to make this the letter C. That is to maintain the sound. Almuerce, comenzar, comience, cruce. Here we have a C, change it to a QU because it's an AR verb and we're adding an E on the end. If we were to keep the A, it's the verb buscar. If we did not do the QU, then we would have made it busse. But to keep the K sound, we do the QU, busque. Sakar, to keep the K sound, we do sake. Tokar, toke. G to GU, again, because it's an AR verb and we're putting an E on the end, we need to maintain the G sound. So we have the GU. Otherwise, it would be apaje. But with the GU, we maintain the G. Apague, juegue, llegue. Notice jugar is also a stem changer. U to UE, and then to maintain the G sound, we have the GU. So if you were to tell someone to play basketball or play ball, juegue, in the polite command. Okay. Traer is an ER verb. Tráigame un café, por favor. No me traiga té. What they want to show you here is the difference between an affirmative command and a negative command. Affirmative means to do this. Negative command means do not do this. So tráigame, bring me some coffee, please. No me traiga té. Don't bring me tea. Díganme, tell me the truth. No me digan que no la saben. Tell me the truth, do not tell. So when you make it a negative command, you do separate with the no and verb. No lo haga. Don't do it now. Hágalo más tarde. Do that later. Levántense temprano. Get up early. No se pierda las noticias de las 6. Get up early. Do not miss the 6 o'clock news. Okay. So with affirmative commands, you can keep the whole verb together, including what we call direct object pronouns. Negative commands, you need to separate the no. Here we see that with affirmative commands, you can just attach lo or las or los because these are pronouns. Páguenlo, hágalas, recójalos. But when you make it negative now, you separate out no plus direct object pronouns and the verb. No lo paguen, no las haga, no los recoja. Alright, for the homework, I want you to just focus on exercise 5. Okay, so it says, imagine that you are a travel agent. Answer the following, and if necessary, you can add your direct object pronouns lo, la, los, or las. I'm more focusing on the command rather than the pronouns. So, in the example, the modelo, it says, necesito ir al consultado mañana por la mañana. Do I need to go to the consultant in the morning? And then the person is answering, and so this would be what you would write. Taking the verb ir that they use in a question. Should I go? Is it necessary that I go? And the person gives the command, yes, go tomorrow. Here's another example. Tengo que pagar el pasaje hoy? Tengo que pagar. So do I have to pay today? And they're saying, yes, pague today. Pay it today. Páguelo. They added lo. So number 1, debo ir al aeropuerto 2 horas antes de la salida de mi vuelo. Debo ir. So ir is the verb you put as the command. Mi vuelo sale a las 4 de la mañana. Debo dormir en el aeropuerto para estar allí a tiempo. So dormir is the verb to use there in the command. Debo dormir. Dormir means to sleep. Now, with many of these, it doesn't really matter to me how you answer it, whether you say yes, do this, or no. The point is how you make the command. And some answers would make more sense than others. Here it's saying, should I sleep in the airport until it's time to leave? Again, there could be an answer that makes more sense depending on your answer. Debo hacer las reservas mañana. Number 3, debo hacer, to make reservations. So hacer is the verb to use as a command. Tengo que comprar ya los pasajes. Tengo que comprar. Comprar is to buy. Tengo que traer el dinero pasado mañana. Traer is your verb to use as a command. Necesito coger los pasajes la semana que viene. Recoger. Okay, so we're just going to focus on that exercise for the homework. I do want to note, sometimes, if we do put these into a translator to get more of an understanding, a translator is not going to be able to decipher if you want a formal command or an informal command. So that is another difficulty, if that's a main resource that you're using to try to answer commands. So if you are having trouble, maybe talk with me or come into my office and we can look at the difference between giving commands to our friends or giving commands to people we don't know. But something like a translator or an app is not going to know what context that you are asking or making that command about. Okay, so for Wednesday, I want you to do exercise 5 on page, what is that, 358, and submit that on the assignment tab on Blackboard, and then continue your Connect activities online, and make sure you've scheduled at least your second, if not third, speaking activity in my office hours. Okay, buena suerte.